Hi, how are you? While COVID 19 continues to lead to tragic circumstances across the globe, the thought of this invisible enemy being around here for an untold amount of time is quite frankly demoralizing. However, while we're enduring this prolonged crisis, doesn't mean we have to be disheartened. People across the globe have fortified together, supporting each other while still being physically apart. In Italy, people joined from their balconies in songs and supported each other, while in India, lights were switched off and replaced with lamps and candles for 9 minutes in a sign of solidarity. Now, we here at The Struggle don't have thousands of balconies or even millions of lamps and candles or even a studio. But we have one thing, our community that we are here for you. I'm your host, Tavleen, and welcome to The Struggle Isolation Edition. It's fair to say our everyday lives have been upended in the past month or so. There are the more obvious signs like deserted city centers, tapes on supermarket floors telling us to avoid each other, me hosting the show from my room, and audience-less live TV shows. But COVID-19 is not the only thing making these times feel a little weird. While most of us have turned to screens for a bit of entertainment, what we're actually seeing right now has been shot way in advance. Reality shows, sitcoms are something that can be planned months and months in advance, but that has not made what's going on telly any less strange. Modern Family is drawing to a final close with its 11th and final season. MasterChef without Matt, George, and Gary will take some getting used to. And Neighbours has descended into medieval savagery with its latest murder plotline. I suppose you can only blow a plaster so many times. And while escapism is a welcome distraction, mixing fiction with reality can raise a few issues. In an effort to crack down on fake news throughout the pandemic, WhatsApp has introduced its own virtual form of social distancing, where it's limiting chats that have already been forwarded 5 times to one at a time. Whether users have to also wait for a minute and a half before they can send a message to another group, there's no word on that yet. But thankfully, here at The Struggle, we have implemented a policy that limits one fake news segment per week. Unfortunately, here it is now. Our far-right correspondent, Pauline Hansang.
Times have been tough, Kathleen. The world has been thrusted into danger. Lives have been taken, and the world has stopped. All by the claws of the COVID-19 demon himself. But within every inch of darkness, there is light.
Introducing the NeuronaForce 2000, a BBC DNA tested cure that works on all ages and genders.
That's right. Are you feeling down because you can't leave the house due to social distancing, even though you have herd immunity? Have you also tried blow drying your face and nose to realize it didn't keep the corona's ass like you thought it would? Are you also tired of having that annoying cough and fever your stupid grandma gave to you? Well, you're just in luck, because within the NeuronaForce 2000, all of that will be cured and more. Created by scientific experts with many degrees from the Oxfordshire University of Melbourne, the NeuronaForce 2000 fights off all the bad bacteria and forms a barrier around your cells to protect it. Our brilliant team of scientists have managed to test the cure on many subjects. It's even bulletproof and waterproof, probably even fireproof, and definitely corona-proof. How fantastic is that?
But guess what? The NeuronaForce 2000 is a limited time offer. For only $170, you'll be up in about no time.
No more social distancing, no more coughing, no more dead parents.
Say yes to the cure and no to the Rona.
If you contract the coronavirus while using the NeuronaForce 2000, that is not a problem, it is yours. Do not sue me, you are just stupid. Go see a doctor or go to church.
In case Pauline gave you the wrong idea, we are not endorsing that product or anything else she says. Hold up, make that everything she says. There's an abundance of misinformation going around, and that hasn't really been helped due to a certain someone. So we'll go and get a professional's opinion. We are joined now by our health correspondent, Conrad Descend. May I call you Con?
Of course, yes.
Great, Con Descend. How can we protect ourselves from this virus?
Well, there are many precautions one can take. The most important is that of social distancing. Now, in that case, people must remain 1.5 metres apart from each other. Okay. However, if you do feel inclined to get a haircut, then the hairdressers will remain open. So feel free to fraternise.
Is getting a haircut that important?
Oh, absolutely. They are, of course, an essential services. I mean, where would we be if the hairdressers didn't remain open? You know, people's hairs would be growing all over the place. And as you know, the corona feeds off follicle-based environments.
There's been some confusion about when people can go out. Can you tell us about that?
Tevleen, I mean, the rules are very clear. I can't make them clearer, okay? You are allowed to have a wedding of 5 people. But if you want more guests, then you should kill one of those guests and then call it a funeral, and you can invite 6 more. I mean, they are very clear. I mean, look, to put it bluntly, the only reason you should be outside is for work or for shopping. If you are outside not for those reasons, then you should go home and self-isolate. And if you are already home, then you should be self-isolating from your home.
Right.
Tevleen, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. You've had several questions.
But
Tevleen,
I know,
but sorry. You don't run the interview, okay? So I'm going to go
I have a question. How can people be more hygienic?
I'm going to go to other questions of members of the group.
Well,
Catherine hasn't had a question yet. Catherine, we'll go to you.
I'm the host.
No, I'm happy to
Hello?
return to you, but let's just keep it civil, okay?
Condescend, come on. Hello? All right, so we'll try and get our health correspondent back. Till then, why don't you take a break? Don't go anywhere. Oh wait, you can't. Welcome back. World leaders are at the forefront of this fight against COVID-19, frequently addressing the media and giving crucial updates about the virus and public safety measures. Some of these world leaders have stepped up to the challenge posed by coronavirus by urging the public to stay at home. In New Zealand, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has reassured the children that both the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy are considered essential workers and would still be visiting despite social distancing restrictions. While some world leaders have made it their duty to ease children's FOMOs, others, namely ScoMo, have accidentally become overnight comedians. Now, with so much time to pass, and I really do hope that you all are self-isolating and a perfect couch potato, what better way to pass the time than by indulging in looking at world leaders making fun of themselves? We now switch to our correspondent, I'm a millennial, get me out of here, who's making the most of her time and looking at news.
Welcome back to I'm a Millennial, Get Me Out of Here. Now, social isolation has been a bit of a breeze for me, but I know some of you are worried. I mean, maths is coming to an end and you've already binged through Tiger King. Don't worry, I've got your brand new TV obsession, ScoMo Speeches. It's this new TV show that's been showing up like every day almost, and on every TV channel, and online, so you can watch it on any platform, which is great. Now, ScoMo Speeches are full of drama.
Stop hoarding. I can't be more blunt about it. Stop it.
Comedy.
Andrew, I'm sorry, you've had several questions. Andrew, I'm sorry. Andrew, I know, but you don't run the press conference, okay?
And some confusion.
Barre, I hope I've pronounced that correct. I might need some help with that. I'm not quite sure what that is, to be honest, but B-A-R-R-E for those who are looking for the specific definition. And
There is a male lead, it keeps updating itself every day, but it does have a bit of a long intro. However, there are plenty of international alternatives. Take Donald Trump at the White House, plenty of speeches coming from there. I mean, Donald even confessed that he's not particularly familiar with the scientific model for the pandemic. Don't worry though, he said he's had plenty of other experience with other kinds of models.
The professionals did the models. I was never involved in a model, but at least this kind of a model.
If you're looking for quarantine looks, Vladimir Putin can be your new inspiration. He was recently spotted in this hot little number, but let's be honest, Putin has always been a fashion icon. I think it's just really reassuring, especially during these times, to have so many world leaders that we can all look up to. Back to you, Tavleen.
Right you are, Emily. Moving on then, COVID-19 has seen many of us have to adapt to working from home. With meetings, university classes and the like being held via Zoom, it's become really important to keep ourselves updated with what's the correct protocol for conducting business online. If you're one of those people whose pets just wander in the middle of a meeting, you're probably the highlight of that Zoom session. But if you have pet allergies or are in a house share situation, your best option is something like this. Because none of us wants to be this person.
Autonomía curricular y el área socioemocional de los niños, porque esa parte no está quedando bien.
Or this person. For a lesson on Zoom etiquette and maintaining work productivity at home, let's cross to our HR manager, Denise.
Oh, thanks, Tavleen. As the Friendly Struggle HR manager, it's my job, nay, my duty, to safeguard the struggle team from COVID-19 and prevent the spread. Of course, we're all #staying at home. So I'm going to give you my top tips on how to stay productive and professional, all from the comfort of your own home. First of all, you need to dress the part. Remember, you need to get into the mindset that you're at work, so none of this business on the top, party on the bottom business. Secondly, it's critical that you limit distractions, especially in Zoom meetings. Unwanted interruptions are very unprofessional. Thirdly, find a space in your home that you can use for work. Don't use your bed for business calls, keep it only for Netflix and chill. Lastly, stay connected. Make sure to touch base with your colleagues. It will keep you accountable and social. I hope these tips can help you stay productive during these trying times. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm getting back to work. Back to you, Tavleen.
Well then, we are off to a quick break. And we are back. Now, while there's a lot of doom and gloom around, let's take some time and focus on some positives. Children are writing letters to residents in aged care homes and helping them feel more connected. Google Doodles have been thanking and recognizing coronavirus helpers. And it seems like we are finally heeding the advice of experts in their fields. If you're looking for a silver lining, then perhaps it's time to take some heart with the environmental improvements. In China, there's been a decrease in nitrogen dioxide levels, in part due to the reduction in economic output. The Himalayas are visible from some parts of northern India for the first time in almost 30 years due to less pollution. And due to a whole lot of less pollies in Parliament, the hot air coming out of Canberra has seen a significant drop. On a more individual level, people are taking up some new hobbies and finding innovative ways to get in shape, or trying but failing to avoid the urge to raid the pantry. Speaking of eating habits, let's go to our suburban socialite and see what's cooking at her place.
Hi guys, it's Chanel Williams here. As a mother of two, I know just how hard it is, even at the best of times, to create gluten-free, low FODMAP, vegan meals for the kids, let alone in the current circumstances. Last week, I realised panic buying was actually a real thing when my local organic farmers market ran out of camembert and quince paste. I had to set foot in a mainstream supermarket for the first time since the GFC. Desperate times really do call for desperate measures, but not too desperate, you know? Just because we're self-isolating at home does not mean I'm going to lower myself to buying home brand. Anywho, I couldn't be more thankful knowing that my precious little darlings will be spending term 2 at home this year. Thanks, Mr. Morrison. Victoria, shut your pie hole, mummy's working, okay? Oh, it's every parent's worst nightmare, isn't it? Sending your child off to school with a meal that, mind you, took the nanny 2 hours to prepare. Then they get home and you find out they've swapped their homemade, no refined, sugar-free granola bar for an Oreo from the kid that eats glue. At least now I can make sure that my Victoria and Darcy have fully planned hyper-nutritious meals all throughout the day. Forget sandwiches and cookies. Tomorrow's menu is leaf carpaccio and tofu teddies. Victoria, don't make me come down there or I'm taking the iPad away, okay? You ungrateful little shit. Anyway, if the kids master their homeschooling lessons in crochet and tying a double Windsor knot, then they might just get a mug of warm soy matcha tea before bed. Well, Tavleen, I think a bit of mummy me time is well overdue. I'm off to the couch for MasterChef and Merlots.
Right then, Chanel. Well, amidst all the virus particles, there's still love in the air. Sex toy sales have reached new highs, and even Pornhub is doing its bit to flatten the curve by offering free subscription to their premium services till April 23rd. They are keeping people off the streets and between the sheets. So whether you're cohabiting or staying solo, anyone can jump in on the action. Another additional benefit of self-isolation that I think we can all agree on is that we are connecting more than ever, not just with friends, but in our dating lives also. Dating app Bumble has reported a rise by 23% in messages being sent and by 31% in in-app video calls since mid-March. So for all those singletons out there who have been thinking of picking up a new skill, now's your chance to dabble in a bit of poetry or songwriting. It could go a long way in finding your bae. Instead of having a drunken phone call or a rash down there as your regret, your only one would be booking the same Zoom session with your parents and your date. Passwords won't be enough this time. To learn more about this, let's head over to our fangirl, Sophia.
Oh, hey, Tavleen. I didn't see you there. You caught me off guard. Oh my gosh, Tavleen, I'm both so nervous and so excited at the same time. I have a date. So I've been dating this guy for about 4 months now. We've hung out, gone clubbing, slept over, and watched movies together. But ever since isolation began, we've had to settle for watching porn together and building a zoo on Minecraft. The other day, we spent 5 hours on Club Penguin. 5. I haven't spoken to anyone for that long since I was like 16. He's even visited my igloo. I know this may sound crazy, but I feel like I'm more connected to him than I was before. In fact, I don't think I have ever connected with another human being on this level, like ever. This whole isolation thing is forcing us to mostly just talk rather than keeping ourselves busy in other ways. But I think we're ready to get serious and take it up a level. We're about to have our very first dinner date. I'm so excited. I know we talk a lot on the show, but IRL, it's much harder to hold conversation. And this is really giving me the chance to hone my sweet talking skills. Like the other day, I was talking to this boy of mine and I found out that he has a sister. Isn't that so cute and so unique? I was really worried when this whole coronavirus situation broke out. And I thought we'd have to break it off. But turns out this whole virtual dating thing is not actually bad at all. I mean, I'm not the only one who thinks so. According to a spokesperson for the Hinge dating app, up to 70% of users have shown interest in going on digital dates during the pandemic. So this is the thing now. Oops, I should probably get going. My date's about to start. Gotta get on Zoom. Wish me luck. Back to you, Tavleen.
All the best with it, Sophia. With that, we have come to the end of our first show in isolation, which also marks the first day I've left my bed. Keep in touch, not literally, with family, friends, and those most vulnerable. In general, just be nice. You know, if your neighbor comes around and asks for a cup of sugar, slam the door in their face. It's not safe. Until next week, the struggle, it's a bit more real.